Hello, everybody. Got me and the kids here. Just picked up my kids from Grammy's as I choke on nothing. No big deal. So smooth. So, we went and got Starbucks, and now I'm heading home. And what I wanted to hop on here today and talk about the economy a little bit. We seriously are so blessed. I just got my kids Starbucks and I grabbed them food because I have a meeting in just a little bit, so I'm gonna let my kids eat food that's not the best so that they are happy and fed while I am on my meetings. #mom life, right? So this economy has been really brutal. I feel like everybody probably could say, maybe since 2020, maybe before then for you, I don't know, but a lot of people need multiple incomes. I mean, both, a husband and wife have to be working in the home, both of you, to live any type of decent life. Now, I know a lot of stay-at-home moms that, they're all able to budget and do the things and raise kids and live on one income. But the husband has a very significantly, decent size income. And this has really changed the dynamic of the families and how kids are raised. And to be completely honest, I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole completely, but I think that it's the problem that we have, with how our kids are being raised these days, is because we're not raising them. Somebody else is. If you work 40 hours a week, minimum 40 hours, because it's so bumpy, minimum 40 hours a week, your child is being raised by somebody who's not you. And it's kind of a big deal. And for me, there was a time period when I was married that we both made really good money. And then life happened and we switched jobs, and I switched jobs because here's what happens. As a mother, and I don't know about you guys, if you've changed your work situation, if you mothers have ever changed your work situation to better fit your family situation, but I did. And that means I took a pay cut, and I left something that I loved because I wanted to be with my own kids more. And while that was really beneficial and I got to be with them every night, I wasn't making enough money. I was making significantly less money, and I was working more days a week, and it just still wasn't perfect. And there came a point, even in my marriage, where us together were not making enough money. We just weren't. Not even just to pay bills, let alone do anything else. And so I also had this really deep realization, because my husband was in law enforcement. What if he died, right? This is about the time I had started this business and hopped in here, and I was just that's maybe a morbid thing to think, guys, but it's what if he died? Would I be able to afford everything that I have going on here? And the answer was no. Life happened, and my life has drastically changed in the last 6 months, and I'm by myself with my kids, supporting myself on my income. So it has been a blessing that I have and had this business, because I would never have been able to afford everything that I do now if I was still working where I was working. Or I wouldn't be able to afford any of the things. With 2 incomes, I couldn't afford it. And a lot of people don't have the luxury, there's a lot of single moms out there who don't have the luxury of having a second income, and they're scraping by and not getting paid what they deserve. And I know that you guys probably know this if you pay any attention, but I am very passionate about helping mothers make really good money. If you're married, I can help you be the breadwinner. That just improves the quality of life of your whole family. If you are single and you're raising children by yourself, you can afford the same lifestyle that you had when you were in your marriage, if not better, because you can provide what they need. And let's say that you don't have kids yet, and you're just a single girl, or maybe you're already married but you're planning for a family, then I can actually help you build something that is unshakable so that you are prepared when you have children. And it's just crazy because in a lot of instances, women, they give up their careers and they give up everything to be mothers because that's where our hearts are at, right? Like, I changed everything. I jumped into this business for my family because it was something that was very unknown to me. I had no idea what I was going to be doing, and I just did it because that love and that drive for my kids compelled me to be like, okay, this isn't working. This isn't working. It hasn't been working for years, and we are just getting more and more behind debt-wise. And so I had to take a hard look at my life, and then I've always been someone who's been able to support myself. Well, I don't just have myself to support now. You know, worst case scenarios will still happen in your life, and if you don't have enough money to be able to afford it, things could look very, very bleak. I don't ever want, like, my kids to not be able to have the same lifestyle that they have had. And my kids have been very blessed. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. Like, they've been blessed the majority of the time. We made really good money, and they've really never wanted for anything. But you separate and you have just one income, we're talking about poverty. Like, literal poverty, and not being able to provide any of the same things for you and your family. And I don't think that that's okay. And that is a huge reason that I've kind of been quiet about why I'm so passionate about helping women. Because women give up everything to raise children, and then sometimes end up in marriages that are toxic and not good for them, that they have to stay in because they can't provide for their kids alone. And I just don't think that that's very fair for me to keep a secret that there's this thing, this business that can literally change all of that for you. And it works in any circumstance, but I'm wildly passionate about women making their own money and not having to ask permission to buy things. And frankly, I don't like to have to budget a whole lot. I want to be able to go on a trip if I want to go, or buy my kids Starbucks because I feel like it, and not be like, guys, there's times that I couldn't have afforded it. Like, it got really bleak before I started this business, and that's just not my life anymore. There's like a huge storm that just came up. There's like hopefully not a tornado. That's super cool. We're good, but I'm in Wyoming, so the wind blows like 40 billion miles an hour. It's gonna try and blow me off the road. That's super cool. There's so much, sorry. I got very distracted because there's like a dust tornado little cloud that was blowing all the way across the road. So, interesting. Sorry about that. Sorry. I'm very passionate, but I got very distracted. But my goal is to set as many women free as possible. Free from debt, free from marriages that you don't want to be in, free from having to live at poverty levels because you can't afford anything else. I made good money in my life before. Like, when I was a detention officer, I made really good money. But I always had to work multiple jobs to be able to afford my home because I was a homeowner at 23 years old. I had to work multiple jobs to be able to afford that house by myself. And that sucks. Like, I can't do that now that I have kids. I would never see them. I'm telling you, there's a better way, and I'm here to show it to you. You just have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone and be I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. If you were just going through doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, it's not going to happen. And I knew that. I knew that when I jumped in here. I didn't know it was going to blow up like it did. But I am telling you that if you don't do something different and you continue down the same path, you will just get the same. I didn't want the same. I don't want the same life for me, and I don't want the same life for my kids. I want a life where we live on our terms. And guys, I'm living like my dream life in the sense that it looks a little bit different now, but it's a life that's with my kids, that we get up on our terms, that I get to do fun things with them every day. Not once a week, not once a month because I'm working all the time. Every single day I get to spend with my kids because I took a chance on myself. And it's super interesting how so many people can have something right in front of them and have zero interest in actually bettering their lives because of all the lies that you're telling yourself. I can't do this. I don't know how. It's not real. I'm not paying my bills with fake money here. Like, I made decent money in law enforcement. I would have had to, like, I can't just be doing this full time, you know, like, you have to think outside of the box and be willing to do something that goes a little bit against the grain, because that's how wealthy people are created. And being wealthy and having lots of money in my mind isn't the thing. It's just that I want to be able to have opportunity, and money makes opportunity. It just really does. And it gives you options that you do not have if you are struggling financially. And money makes the world go around. And if you don't have enough of it, it's very stressful. So for those of you moms out there that are struggling in one way or another, or you want to be a parent someday and you don't want to leave your kid with sitters, like, come build something that nobody can take away from you. I can tell you guys that life can be crazy and hard, and it is a lot easier when you can afford to take care of yourself and you don't have to rely on anybody else. And that's kind of always been how I have been, but I definitely traded and downgraded jobs and made less money for my children because at the time that was the right thing to do. But long term in this economy, you need a very substantial income to be able to survive. And what I do isn't hard. You do have to work and put in the effort, but if I can do it, anyone can do it. I didn't even know how to use social media. Everyone who knows me makes fun of me because they're like, you're so good at technology, and I'm asking you about technology now. I wasn't good at it. I just learned. Like, if you can drive a car and learn the job that you have, you could learn this. So I want you guys to know that you deserve to have the life that you want, to not have to rely on anybody else, and to be able to make decisions on your life and the paths that you want to go down, not based off of what you can afford, because that is very stressful. So I hope you guys are all having a really good day. And for those of you moms out there and wanting to change your life, reach out to me and I will show you what it is that we do and create a lot more options for you. We'll talk to you soon.